Good evening, everyone. Okay, test. So, how is it? Tell me something about it. Topic? No. It was terrorism. Which schedule you are looking? Okay, you should follow the one which is provided in the Telegram group. There were some changes. That was earlier. You came with preparing left-wing extremism. Okay, do one thing, join Telegram group and follow that schedule only. कोई नहीं, next day, tomorrow we have left-wing extremism. You can write those. So बाकी का कैसे था? अरे यार इतना मैं कैसे सुनेगा? इधर कोई आओ. इसी ऑफ करते हैं. And come. So tell me कैसे था? क्या लिखा? Overlapping topic. Which one? Second and third, similar questions. So, what is other comments? See, we have made a schedule like first day we have terrorism, second day left-wing extremism and northeast insurgency. After that, money laundering. Or border security. Then cyber security, and last day, whichever it is left out of this. So this was our schedule. So how many topics are there? 5 topics, 6 topics. And how many marks IR से आ रहे? Sorry, internal security से कितना mark आ रहे? 50 marks. और आपको कितने topics prepare करना है? After preparing maybe 6 topics, 7 topics maximum. You take extended, but that armed forces, no question is coming from there. Last syllabus, last line. Rest 6-7 topics, if maximum you include 1-2 organized crime, all those, even if you include those 6-7 topics, prepare karo, you get 50 marks. And I'll show you one thing. This is, what is this? 2022 questions, mains questions. How many of you gone through this? So what do you notice? If somebody has not gone through, just read it once. You should sit here. Later I will be out of that range. Sit here now. Can manage? Yeah, just go through this once, 4 questions, and tell me what did you notice. Let me check if somebody is online. Okay. Yeah, so if you're watching online, do comment whatever being asked. So what did you notice? Tell me, you were saying something. Very straightforward question. Straightforward. Or multiple things has been asked. What? 2-3 questions are being asked. Okay. और क्या inference ले रहा है इधर से? Who is attending first class? You two are first. Okay. Tell me. Where is interlinkage? Terrorism and organized crime, they are interlinked in the syllabus also. Like it's not too much of 2 separate topics. Any other interlinkages you can find out? Cyber security, it's having maritime. So, come on, it's okay. Yeah, so basically what you can see is all questions are extremely straightforward. क्या पूछा है? Discuss types of organized crime. Exactly syllabus word क्या दिया है आपको ये पूछा है. Discuss different types of organized. And terrorism and organized crime, you will see this linkage everywhere. And what is next? What is maritime security? Coastal security is part of your border security program syllabus board. We will be preparing this. Technical, organizational, procedural initiatives to ensure maritime security. What is this? Different elements of security, cyber security. Maybe this is little factual. National cyber security strategy क्या है? But still it is not something too out of the box. If you are preparing cyber security, what will you prepare? What are the issues? What government is doing? So somewhere you will have heard this. What is this? Naxalism, emerging issues of Naxalism. What is the strategy to tackle Naxalism? So what you can take away from this? We have to prepare only 5, 6, 7 topics. Say 7, take the higher margin. 7 topic prepare. And question B, I say, it's coming like very straight. Every syllabus has like, if you are preparing, take 1 topic. Cyber security. How will you prepare cyber security? What is cyber security? Why it is important? Different types of cyber attacks. How to tackle cyber attacks. Recent government initiatives which has been brought into it. So this is what you prepare. And exactly same is being asked. And कितना marks आ रहा है? 50 marks. You see in economy question, you see other part of the syllabus. It's not this straightforward. How much you have to study for economy if you want to have this much of clarity. You'll have to do so much of works. And for big question क्या है? 15th Finance Commission question was asked. How can you answer this? So this is one area that is so easy. If you prepare, this same question come, you should answer it. So what will one difficulty you will face in this? Exactly. Everyone will prepare the same thing. Everyone will prepare cyber security, government initiatives, exactly same thing. So after all, this is a game of relative positioning. Even if you have 2 pages, other one also has 2 pages. How much? Some incremental improvement you can bring into your answer. That makes the difference. It is not the so much of fact or so much of content, so much of knowledge is not going to help you here. What you want is, you want your paper to be something above what everyone is doing. And how you can do it? How you prepare internal security? Suppose you are preparing the subject, not for answer writing. Suppose you are going to prepare internal security. How you do it for mains? Tell me, Satyam. And any other suggestion? So what he is saying, we will take a source of internal security, then we prepare it, then we will add into it news, current events, all these things. Any other suggestion? See, one mistake you might do in this is, if you study only this source material, whatever it is, lot of source material will come, internal security 50 page, 100 page, all this material. If you only prepare this source material and go for exam, what will happen? How much you can replicate? It's not like you read this and you 100% you put it in the paper. There will be some gaps. And whatever you replicate, what you are replicating? exactly what everyone is reading. Even though questions are very simple, questions are very direct, you will still miss out. If you follow the approach of like, I'll read these 50 pages of internal security and go for the exam. Are you getting? So what we can do for this? Something we should do. He told he will add news, add events, add all these. How much time we have for mains? Abhi say next September mein, suppose 9 months plus December 10 months, less than 10 months, September 15. So if you can do this, this will add so much value to it. But can you do it consistently? Yes, no. बीच में prelims आएगा, बीच में so many things will come. Yes, paper reading cannot be compromised, but making notes for internal security, IR, economy, polity, it's not one subject. And in between prelims, you have to sit and write mains notes, means either you should be super disciplined or something is wrong with you. Right. So what you can do? What we need is something incremental improvement. So I have given you a workbook. So what it contains? Have you gone through it? See, open it out. Open karo. So there are some headings given in this, like blue color. If you're reading PDF or some ash color will be coming, headings. So what is it? First one is, let's see from here. Yeah, this will be your first page. So what is the first thing written? So we will start with terrorism. What is first thing about terrorism written here? Definition. What is definition of terrorism?
But there's no internationally agreed definition.
Very good. Tell me. Use of violence. 3 parts it should include. One is use of violence. What next? Why the violence? It should create some fear psychosis, some disorder in the society. And what this fear will do? It will achieve some political, religious, ideological, whatever the person who committed the terrorism, what is they want to achieve? They achieve this through this fear. So if you are so smart, like you can by heart the words, you can by heart, this definition is too simple, it's just one line. But every definition will not be like this. So make a flow of it. Whenever you are writing terrorism, it should include these 3 things. Use of violence to create some kind of fear or fear psychosis in the society. And using this, they will achieve what? Some objectives. So this should be, now how will you use this workbook? See, isme do whatever you want. After all, the point is it is personalized, it should be personalized. Like there is so overwritten in this. In coming workbooks, I will try to minimize my wordings because this is first one. I wanted to give more ideas. So how you should approach. That's why most of the forms are filled and some areas that is not filled. So whatever we are discussing in class, whatever you hear from somewhere else, some other class, or YouTube videos or newspaper. Everything you try to fill in one example to it. And what is most important thing? Only fill those things which you are going to replicate in the paper. So turn the pages. Suppose, look at here. Suppose we are writing different types of terrorism, and we have written nationalist terrorism. So whatever written here, that should be only that much. How much line you will get in mains writing? Suppose this is your page. You will write terrorism. And after that, in 1 or 2 lines, you have to substantiate it. We need that much content only. Apart from the dimensions, even 1 or 2 substantiating elements, 1 example, that is enough. Don't try to go for making some note which is so much comprehensive that you will get fed up. We need only 1-2 content to substantiate whatever is the dimensions written here. Dimensions add karna hai, add karo. And this should be that much optimized that in exam if a question come, I will simply replicate this. And abhi se start kiya, you have 10 months. If you continuously work out, do some, kya? Yeah, I am asking you. All good? Okay. So if you continue working on this from now on, validation bhi ho jayega, it will get fixed into it. Like Seek for Justice, we discussed in IR class. Anyone remember? See, we are discussing same here. If you start from here, you are going through same note for 10 times, 10, 20 times. And it's not that difficult to memorize whatever examples you have filled up. Whatever example. And ये ना होना चाहिए 10 example नहीं लिख के आना है, कोई point नहीं है. 2-3 major examples and इसका data होना चाहिए, data लिखो. Whatever is required, write 2-3 examples. Clear? Idea is clear. All major headings are given here. Whatever you have to prepare from each topic, major headings I have given. Dimensions breakout also given. You have to add 2 things. One is this thing, data. Second is you have to add the framework, how to think. Once we have dimensions, you add this data. Still, this dimension has to come out in the exam. You have to have some framework, like we had a framework in IR. Values, what was it? National interest, strategic interest, all this. So some kind of framework we still need to generate this, opening the dimensions of the question. That we will discuss as per question when we are discussing. So put that also into this workbook. You getting? You have 2 tasks. One thing, wherever content is gap, you have to fill that. Secondly, how will you generate or how you will think so that you can get maximum out of it. That also you have to fill in the workbook. Clear? And don't do this like if you already have note, you don't need to open this workbook. Don't open it. Add into your original notebook. If you already made security notes, already you have a framework, you have studied security. If you are that kind of a candidate, don't go for this. This is for somebody who want to consolidate the material from right now. Getting? Idea is it will be less than 30-40 pages. 40 pages. In 40 page, suppose you add 20 more page, 10 more page, 50 page. In 50 page, all these topics with all relevant examples, whatever you will write in exam, your personalized examples, something which is much more than the 50 page available in the market. That should be with your hand when you are going for mains, or before you go in for mains. That should be your Bible, or what should be you are looking at. Clear? Go ahead. So this is all these diagrams. You can include whatever diagrams you are coming into your mind. Content, you Google search, you will get, add one line, nothing more. Okay, clear? Anyone has any doubt? ठीक है. So we'll start with first question. Topic, yes. It thing is, it was very easy in IR. One framework was applicable in many questions. If you take 20 IR question, 15 question mein, we are applying the same framework. Examples change or here we have totally different 7 topics. We cannot go with a single set of framework. Whenever question is coming, I will add some type of how you can think when we are discussing these answers. Rest, there is no one standard framework. You make this and you follow this, you will get the dimensions. Okay. So yeah, read the question. What is it? Analyze the multidimensional challenges posed by external state and non-state actors to the internal security of India. Also discuss measures required to be taken to combat these threats. So we'll follow the same format. Tell me how much mark it is? 15 marks. How much points we need? 20 maximum, 15, 20. So what are dimensions you are going to open in this question? You are saying first will be challenges by external state. Then non-state actors. Then tell me you tell me something. What is the next part of your answer which you are going to write? Measures. Measures. If there is some area where both of these are coming, you can add those. Very good. Measures also you will divide. External, no, I am saying from the question perspective. For external and for non-state. So how much parts we got in general? 1. Suppose we are not doing this right now. This is a very good idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. How much points you need in each? 5. Now tell me how you are going to open this part. Country wise. Which is first country you will take? Pakistan. Then China. Bangladesh. क्या हो गया? Myanmar. One big country you are leaving out. Which one? Afghanistan. So we have 4 or 5 countries. Even if you generate 2 points where this state is creating problem to internal security problems in India, there is more than 5 points you are getting. Now how will you generate point for this? Region wise you can open up. Border, you can start with border, then northeast, Jammu Kashmir border, then you can come with middle central India, heartland, excelism, coastal security. That wise you can go. Any other opening up suggestions? These framework you should note down somewhere in the workbook or somewhere. This mental framework. Not required to follow exactly this. Any other you can think of? Any other framework? What I did, I think in this question is crime wise, security issue wise. What is security issues India is facing? Insurgency or kya? Religious extremism. All these, whatever come to your mind, India is facing these issues. Keep all these and link with one non-state actor. Who will be that? Al Qaeda, koi bhi, Lakshar-e-Taiba, koi bhi, Sikh for Justice, all these are non-state. Most of the, it's not dearth of examples. Now in measures also, you are dividing it, we will follow similar pattern. Whatever structure you are opening up here, you will give solution to that. Okay, fair enough. You can write same also, no issues. Since we are looking to see, same means you can separate, there is scope for separation, because these are, how will you solve these issues? These issues are created by state. There is some element of foreign policy, diplomacy, some element of all these in solving these issues. You cannot go and simply shoot down the terrorist and solve this issue. If state is involved, it will go to war. These issues, you can do the surgical strike, you can write the other aspect to it, modernization of army, all these things. Okay. You can go with that way also. But thing is, in question exactly it is asked external state and non-state actors. And state and non-state actors mean different challenges it is. So it's not wise in this question to mix it. If in some other question you got an opportunity, like he is asking, you got the what he is asking. We go with like economic challenge, political challenge, social challenge. We go with that. If in some question you have to open up challenges of internal security of India, then it is fair enough. Here we have two separate things. These are totally separate. So it's better go with something like this. Move ahead. What do you do for introduction? What is basic fund of introduction? I have seen so many papers with half-page introduction. Your paper, an experienced guy, he is still writing half-page introduction. Not insulting you. Don't take it in that way. Like so many other papers also. Why you are writing? You are not going to get marks for this. Finish it in 2 lines. Take 3 lines if that much good introduction you have. Very good definition you have studied and came for the paper. Take 3 lines. But don't do like 5-6 line introduction. Okay. So what we'll do, one approach is you can use data. Like I have 4 questions we have today. What roughly we are trying to do is 4 different ways of introduction we will see in each question. It's not that this question can be introduced in other ways also. This data where you get from? It's in your workbook. If you see in some work, just add it. Global terrorism index and India's rank just by heart it. How much it is? 12th. Is India that much affected by terrorism? 12th means who are the other countries? 11 other countries. It's like Afghanistan is top, then Syria, Libya, Somalia, all these countries. Is India that much affected? Go ahead. Select. Yeah. This is good. Something we can think of. So what he is saying is, question is asking about external non-state challenges. So this includes not just terrorism. Proneness means it's vague. Say something clear. What will you say? That is a point in your answer. You are saying that golden crescent, golden triangle, opium smuggling, all this. This will create internal security problem to India. This is not a introduction type material. It should be a point within your answer, but don't make it an introduction. But the other thing is, we are talking here about terrorism, not just terrorism. There are other challenges also. So if some other data or some broader security aspects you can cite, that will be much better. बताओ. You have given introduction, answer to why. How much line introduction you have written? 3 lines में लिखा. बताओ क्या लिखा है. So how would you rate this? No, I'm asking other guys. How would you rate this introduction? GT. Okay. What about this introduction here, sir? One thing you should avoid is, like, it's a very good attempt. We have discussed somewhere in IR, one way of some question is coming, some CPEC question is coming. You are reading current affairs and you will be well aware why this question is coming in the paper. I said no question in mains comes superficial. They are not checking your technical knowledge. Something which is recently happening, some connection will be there. So if you remember that connection, it's a very good way of citing it. And one issue in this is, if a statement is given something like this, external, non-state and state are creating threat to India, don't just repeat the statement in some other, paraphrase nahi karna. Getting? Same statement in some other English, don't write it, and don't make it too vague. India is facing so many challenges, so that become too vague. At least then if you are writing, still writing that, give 2-3 specific examples of challenges. India biggest threat India is facing is these 3. Some specificity should be there in introduction. Otherwise, it's very good. Anything else? Anyone has to? Give an example. Due to hostage, here is also, sometimes it looks very generic. But don't give too much mind into it. Yes. Golden crescent, these are example type, more like. These are one specific challenge India is facing. So you cannot say that multidimensional challenge. It's not everything, right? And the question is not exactly asking about those things. It's a broad question.
In the first floor, because otherwise we will not get chance to explain. Because then we'll be missing out on the points which you have said that we should be substantiating the answer.
So what you are saying? Who are state actors? Who are non-state actors? That is also doable. But problem here, that issue in that also is, these are very simple terms. Something if you are getting for defining is best. Even some answer at terrorism define karke bhi start kiya hai. But in question which are very generic terms, going for definitional path, it look redundant or something less impressive. Getting? If the question is having some specific keywords, some very specific question is coming. Suppose CPSE, referring to it so much times. Still, suppose a question IR, there was a question on CPEC, issues of CPEC. Then it is very apt to start with saying what is CPEC. CPEC is XYZ project between XYZ. It's good. But a question is saying very generic terms like external state actors, external non-state actors. I'm not saying it is wrong approach. If you're not getting any data, do that also. But keep in limit to 2 lines. Problem is very generic words, don't go for definition time. Okay. Move ahead. How much is time? We started at 7:15, right? 7:20. Okay. Yeah. So this we already covered. So what I'm trying to say, whenever you are writing about external state actors, divide it into whatever the neighboring countries are creating problems for India. And is there a scope for including non-neighboring countries? External state actors means it's not just neighboring, can be other countries also. But countries are very less. India is friend with everyone outside. Only neighborhood India is having troubles. Okay? So what here we have done? We have taken one countries. Pakistan, don't just read it. Just you can, I'll give you time. Tell me what are state challenges India facing from Pakistan. Don't read it. Then it's what's the point? Brainstorm it for a while. State sponsored terrorism. Give me one example. State sponsored terrorism. How will you say it is state sponsored? Kargil war. Okay. 26/11. Can you relate it to Pakistan state? It's very ISI you can cite still. ISI is state actor, it's state intelligence department. ISI is Pakistan ISI. Indian Mujahideen, that is non-state actor, right? Be careful about using this term. ISI you can still use because it's state department. Otherwise be very careful because all others are not, we can say, but still not convincingly we cannot say that they're state sponsored. So supporting terrorism, infiltration, proxy war in Kashmir, somewhere cite ISI and all this. This policy, bleeding India with 1,000 cuts, what it is? What it is? What is the key idea here? Bleeding India with 1,000 cuts. Go ahead, little bit more. Why bleed India with 1,000 cuts? Why just one cut? Why not one cut? Why 1,000 cuts?
It's difficult to plug
See, Pakistan GDP is this much, India GDP is this much. Pakistan GDP is less than Maharashtra's GDP. And Pakistan military spending is still less, even though it is nuclear power. India has considerable advantage in non-nuclear warfare. So if you are going to have a direct combat with India, then it's always going to negatively affect Pakistan. So what they do? Avoid the direct conflict, deny, but keep on doing small events so that it doesn't escalate to a full-scale war. Create small 1,000 issues within India, within borders, within wherever possible, but maintain little distance between the state that it doesn't escalate into a full-fledged war between India and Pakistan. Getting? What is this? Pak-Sai war? These all are keywords, right somewhere.
use of deep fakes.
Use of deep fakes. That can be part of it. What the idea is? Psy war means psychological war. Can you cite some example recent past?
Showing some photos of Syria and telling them okay.
Yes. That was there. Some human rights violation was going on and some very disturbing pics are said and this is Kashmir or this is India. When this, which was that? Ladakh standoff was happening, Eastern Ladakh. There was some images where Indian army men was shown to be being harassed. There was a video like some guys were wearing similar to India like army dress and they are being harassed in some cabins or something like that. And this video is launched in a very sensitive time. When India-China clash is going on, this video is launched. And it is said that this is Indian army man is facing like this. So what is the purpose? And in fact check, if you see that is not Indian army man and that video is 5 years back or something. But it got viral by these groups or by in the recent context. So what is the purpose of all this? Demoralization of public, creating wedge in the public, developmental initiatives, credibility, all these, whatever you psychologically advantage you have to destroy it. Okay, study some examples, then it will be cakewalk. Radicalization of Azadi for Kashmir, economic threats, what you will write in this? What is economic threat Pakistan is causing to India? Here also there is issue. This is, you cannot directly link with state. You can link with to the maximum ISI. How ISI is doing this? Counterfeit currency, how they are sending to India? What is the most prominent route? Via Nepal. Open borders, open economic borders are using for. Go ahead. Got the fair idea, right? Then we take China. Tell me some examples which you use for China. China state creating issues for India, internal security problems. Incursions, sovereignty is being threatened, CPEZ, all this. Support to terrorism. What example you will write? Masood Azhar. Which resolution it was? Number 1267, exactly. Use of salami slicing strategy. Water threats, we discussed it. Remember? Cyber threat. One example you should have. There is one other very famous cyber threat issue. Which one was it? Mumbai blackout in 2020 August, 20 October. And what is controversy regarding it? You got the story, right? Mumbai, all power gone out for kitna time tha? 17 hours? Something like that. And whole power gone out. And why gone out? That time nobody was aware of why power gone out. After that, after some months or next year, one US report came, and what the report says, it was done due to cyber attack on Indian power infrastructure. And later what happened? It got politicized. Cyber attack means it usually comes from China. And there is no evidence to say that it came from China. And some minister also told that it came from China. So political advantage in political dialogue. He told it came from China. And afterwards, if my memory is correct, Indian government came with a statement. It is not due to cyber attack. It came due to some malfunction within the system. Which one you will believe? So that's why I didn't cite that. I seen that, but you still can use it as an example of cyber attack. Nobody is going to harm you that much, but don't go and explain too much. It came from China. Don't give so much superficial details. Okay. What next? Arms race, militarization of emerging technologies. Something examples that is going to make the game change. What is China Vision document? Who was saying that day? 48 document. There is a Chinese vision for next century. Chinese 100 years vision plan. They are breaking documents like this. And militarization of all emerging technologies, whatever it is. Space is already going on. AI, artificial intelligence, quantum technology. They will send some quantum satellite, right? 2007 something, 19. Quantum satellite is being tested by China. So all which technologies is coming, active militarization is going. We need only 2-3 points from this. Don't make this whole part of your answer in this question. China is having this transgression now along borders, and CPEC is a threat to sovereignty. CPEC, why India is opposing CPEC is exactly due to sovereignty concerns. CPEC connecting to sovereignty, you have no issues. You should connect. Like that is the official stance of government, that we are not supporting CPEC, BRI, all this because we have sovereignty issues with the project. Which one? Galwan Valley, you can mention. It was a state army to army conflict. You can mention, why not? Doklam also, it's also state army directly involved. All this you can write. Afghanistan, Taliban takeover. Okay. What all you will write here? Spillover effect, most important thing. Radicalization, all these Indian terrorist groups, drugs, that triangle, which one is? Golden Crescent is there. Which 3 countries are part of Golden Crescent? Everyone knows, right? Here we have triangle in the eastern part of India. Here, which all countries? Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan. Here, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam भी है. ठीक है? Thing is, this is the most active. Which area? Active what? Drug trafficking area. And how this Taliban, opium, what they did is they take over all the area where opium is being cultivated, and they control the global supply of opium. They got that monetary resource from this. Move ahead. So what is this part? Non-state actors. So we need 5 points. 5, 6, that is more than enough. We have 4 or 5 different part of the answer. So what you have to think is 5 different problems India is facing. From terrorism, from separatism, radicalization, cybercrime, and money laundering. You can add more also, it's not like end to it. Thing is, connect with 1-2 organization which is not related to state. Everything you can write. Clear? I don't think too much explanation or anything is required from this side. Yeah, Mumbai outreach, all this is given here. Go ahead. What is this shell companies? Give me small explanation. Why they are? What is their purpose? Base, profit shifting, all these kind of activities. What are some famous tax havens? Mauritius, Panama, all this. What is this? Last part of our answer. Measures to address. We have state actors and non-state actors. Here what we will do? Take pick. Here we will connect something with foreign policy, something with diplomacy. National cooperation. What is this? Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism. What is Pulwama attack? What is Pulwama attack? Pulwama attack, उसमें क्या था problem? क्या issue हुआ था? You remember, right? Tell me what happened. Which year it was? 2019. What happened? Tell me briefly. No. Yeah, that was also a part of it. Don't write it in paper. Yeah, tell me, पुलवामा में क्या हुआ? CRPF van was going, terrorist with bomb and all explosives came into the bomb, van exploded, and CRPF man, 35 man death हुआ. There was one incident, Iran military commander or somebody like that. What is his name? Qureshi Sulaimani ऐसे कुछ. Remember? What was the issue? Tell me.
His troop was attacked. His car was targeted.
Killed by US.
Army.
Any other suggestion? Nobody else remember it. It was in which year? 2020, right? 19 or 20. So what happened is this guy, Qureshi Sulaimani, I remember correct. This guy was Iranian, very important person, like general, not just a army man, very high post man, strategist, government, a very active person. And this person was killed in Iraq, Baghdad, by a US drone. Very good. US drone, this guy was killed. Now, is that terrorism or not? Is that terrorism? Why we are? Will we use violence terrorism when it is done by US? There is a concept, good terrorism and bad terrorism. That was also given by right. Good Taliban, bad Taliban. So what is the whole idea about? Terrorism doesn't have a clear definition. This constitutes terrorism, this doesn't constitute terrorism. There is no clear demarcation of all this. And then India came up with this Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism. Which year? Which year?
1996.
Very good, 96. So in 1996, India proposed this for UNSC. We should have a definite framework, definite definition for terrorism. There is no such a thing as good and bad. Every terrorist act is terrorist act itself, whoever, irrespective of whoever is conducting, irrespective of whoever, whatever is the motive. Yeah, so India proposed this, but nobody accepted, and it's still a proposal. No movement was happening on this. So FATF you can cite. When money laundering, when you get the money laundering book or money laundering, when we discuss, we'll discuss in detail money laundering after FATF, whatever it is. Zero tolerance approach, take big actions. What about the non-state actors? It's also very easy. So much connection, you can get this question with IR. If you are decently, so many examples we are doing with IR. Only in this question it will be this much. Next question, terrorism, so much connection will not be there. Okay. Dole doctrine. What is Dole doctrine? Offensive defense. We will do something, and example was surgical strike. Okay. Yeah, tell me what you are discussing. Anything? Okay. Gujarat is neighborhood policy. Declaring global terrorist. 1267. We already said. Domestic reforms. What is issue with this UAPA? Like, how many of you are following newspaper for a while? Misuse is there. Very good. Conviction rate is extremely low. 3%, something like that. But that is a little old data. Recently, what government did? Amendment is there. Like this issue was going on, like less than 3% conviction for UAPA cases. And this is 3% against such an important crime case means it's something very bad for the government. And government did said come up with something like central government cases are having a conviction rate of above 90%, something like 94%, and state UAPA cases are having very less. That's why overall we are at 3%, 4%, 6%, all this. It's little bit political, but still there is need for reforms in UAPA. So many cases of misuse, no bail, arrest of urban exiles. Yeah. Overall, you got the idea? Conclusion, what you will do here? In IR, what you did? Here also you can do that, nobody is stopping you. If you remember some statement, terrorism question, you should do that. Because there is so many statements, even in that workbook, one statement is there. At least in terrorism question, you can do that, but don't overdo it. Your all answer is something. Government initiatives, you can do thing like that. Government initiatives is not exactly asked here. So when you are writing it, you write it in some diagrammatic format. Don't waste too much energy into it. write सकता है, कोई issue नहीं. Government कुछ major step लिया है, major change लिया है in policy, you can do that. Okay. Go ahead. So tell me first this question. Analyze the complexity and intensity of terrorism, causes, linkages and nexus. 3 part you will directly get from the first line. 4th part what is asked? Suggest measures. Suggest measures, it's more easy. What are government measures? If it has, you need specific points. Suggest measures. What happened? Okay. Who is having issue? Yeah, we'll put it at higher. 26, okay? चलेगा? Okay? 6. Yeah, so 3 part we are directly getting from the first line. What is other part? Suggest measures. This will be 4th part of your answer. So very easy direct question. Whatever you are given in the notes, if you are just did basic justice to it, you can easily write this answer. What we will majorly focus on is how to generate these dimensions. This part we will give a little bit more weightage to it. So one very good way of studying security is go through case studies. What does it mean? Suppose we are doing terrorism. What is biggest India's terrorist attack India faced? 26/11. Now do a basic understanding of this, why this happened, what are India's lapses, what India did afterwards. Getting? Why 26/11 happened? That is lapse. Due to the lapse, they came and attacked, vulnerability. But what was the motive of 26/11? That is motive of all terrorism, to create state fear. Can you be more specific? Everyone know 26/11, right? No need for going into it. Attack on economic capital. Any other suggestions? Wasn't? Revenge. Revenge for what? See, let's go ahead, move ahead. The idea is, who did 26/11? JET. Taiba, LET, all these guys. Now, there are so many interpretations of why it happened. One interesting interpretation is given by, what was his name? One US spy was caught. US Pakistani guy was caught, Headley. Very good. So he was caught by US for other terrorist attack, and he was facing trial or investigation other attacks with US. Then he revealed that he was a part of 2611, Brain, all these, Masood Azhar, all these guys. And what next? What he revealed? There is two things he revealed. One is politically India and Pakistan were coming together. There were some more political talks were happening. We'll talk about Manmohan doctrine. Trade should be increased. All this was Manmohan idea, how to deal with Pakistan. All this was happening very actively. Now what is the counter effect of this? An India-Pakistan issue is not becoming a hot topic. All these groups created for this is weakening. And these group are LET, these group are Jaish, whatever all these terrorist, cross-border terrorist groups, all these groups are weakening. And according to Hadley, his interpretation, the idea of 2611 was break India and Pakistan again, create political, whatever it is going on, break it. And this one attack will give so much of motivation to, again, these whatever terrorist activities is going on, they will again get motivated. People are not coming earlier, so issues are getting resolved, not resolved, but still, and all these things will be stopped and people will get motivated into it. And one reason also he given, very interesting it is, what he told is 2611 attack, what was peculiarity of it? Foreign tourists were attacked. In most terrorist attack, you'd never see foreign tourists being attacked. And foreign tourist means it can be US citizen. And if some US citizen is being attacked, US will interfere. UK citizen, that country will interfere. And if that country will interfere, then whatever group, LET, if they did it, they will get global image or global publicity or global whatever it is. So for all this was his interpretation, Hartley's interpretation of whatever 2611 happened. So the point I am making is, one very interesting way of studying security is, take 4 or 5 terrorist cases, take Taliban, take one organization, do their analysis, whatever, don't overdo it, whatever we are written in the book, like why terrorism is happening, what are the effects of terrorism, study everything from some examples, study effects of terrorism from effects of 2611. If a question came, what are India's terrorist vulnerabilities, think from perspective of one incident. Okay, getting? But ये नहीं होना है पूरा आंसर में 2611 लिख के नहीं आना है. Question will be generalistic, don't go into that. So this is definition type. You can start with like this also. If some keywords you can define, just simply define it. Yeah. Data is better. I just want to show different types of introduction. That's why I put it. If you have relevant data to cite in the answer, data is always better. Should be relevant. Yes, you can cite. So how you will generate point for this? Causes of terrorism. Yeah, complexity and intensity of terrorism. Take pick for one. You want take pick. Take everyone in one time. Done? Yeah. So complexity and what else? Intensity of terrorism. How will you explain this? How will you generate 5 points for this? There is some framework we need to think. Changing nature is very correct. Technology आ रहा है, वो आ रहा है, ये आ रहा है, it is adding complexity to the terrorism. One approach to it is think from life cycle of terrorism. Think from whatever steps in, if a terrorist activity is going on, whatever steps is there. One is motivation. How motivation of terrorism is changing. Earlier terrorism may be only more political. Now religious terrorism is getting, right-wing terrorism is getting prominence. Give some examples so that new elements are coming into it. And motivation, after that modulus of operandi, how they are working. What best example you can cite? Drones are using for attack in Jammu and Kashmir and all this. BSF has shoot down some drones. Arms were smuggled and all this. New cyber warfare, psychological warfare, we already discussed. Thing is motivation, after that how the attack is happening, new forms, different new ways of attack being happening, vulnerabilities are changing, new forms, okay, yes. Post attack, what is the difficulties, what are the changes happening, cyber attack you can cite. Cyber attack means there is high level of deniability. It's very difficult to exactly locate and trial whoever did the cyber attacks. Role of state is changing, indirect supports are increasing, all this. Globally, we are all same. There is no standard definition, there is no institutional framework what constitute or how to tackle terrorism. Clear? This is one way of thinking to generate points. If you have some approach, points will come. Even if you attend the 5 class, we will discuss so much examples. If you have a general framework how to this dimension to you should think in your paper, then it will naturally come into your answers. If you have attend the class or if you have filled that workbook and you have done enough work. Okay, move ahead. Yeah, next part is causes of terrorism. It's a very straightforward question. Take pick whoever want. Make it fast. Okay, causes of terrorism. How to generate points? What you have done? You have done any framework? How do you generate points for this? Political, historical, religious. What else? Like I'm asking any other approach you applied to generate these points. Any structural thinking? (2611). You did like that? Thing is, what we are trying to do is, if you go to exam and have a scattered thinking approach, still points will come. If you have studied scattered thinking, still it will come. Studied. But thing is, if you have a structured mindset to answer writing, at least these kind of topics, IR or these, where questions are predictable, topics are you have in hand, almost certain next year be thoda idhar udhar change hoga. Maximum one question you will get bouncer. At least rest of the question you can think, have a framework, do all the exercise. Okay. So here what I have done is think from perspective of different terrorist group. ISIS, why they are fighting? Religious. Or from cross-border terrorism in Pakistan, what is the issue? Azadi for Kashmir, that means political. And insurgents, what is their issue? Separatism, there is also political cause. Naxalism, what is their issue? Who told? Developmental gap. Naxalism, social also. What else written? Ethnic. Tribal conflicts in Northeast, tribal conflict in Africa. All these will come in ethnic. Psychological causes. What will you write in this? Yes, one guy went on video game firing. Lone wolf attack. One person is getting motivated of XYZ thing, going to school and shooting in US. At least in India, the trend is not there. In US, this is, yeah, no, still it is very much happening. So all these you can write. One approach I am saying is, think of different terrorist groups you can think of. Write कर सकता है क्या issue? You can write, no issues. Points इधर उधर change हो सकता है. No. This is I'm saying all this to generate the points. This is way you think. Think of different groups, then think of their causes, why they are fighting for. See, when I'm saying here, what written here is how you should approach the answer. When you write the explanation, you start from here, you will give a heading political causes and write the name of the organization or whatever. That explanation should be in line with whatever it is asked. In the previous slide, it was complexity. Then your explanation should be connected with complexity, how adding to complexity is clear. You can write. That is also fine. You are thinking simply going with syllabus wise, history, polity, religious, social, society, economic, all this. You can do, no issues. That is your option. Where you are getting all this? It's fine, you can write 2 words above it, but thing is, don't make it the full part of your answer. Don't make a big paragraph on it. You mentioned that fact, afterwards you should come to something like this structure. Don't finish your answer with this. And if sociology, all this, don't use theories. That also don't do. Naxalism, if you talk about Naxalism, don't write a conclusion of supporting Naxalism. They are not having development, so whatever they are doing is correct. Even though development gap is one cause of, what do you say? Means is wrong. Whatever the aim is, what the means they are adopting is wrong. That should be your line of thought. Okay, move ahead. So what is next part of our answer? Linkages between. Yeah, take pick. Whoever one, take pick in one go. Okay. Yeah. Linkages between obnoxious nexus. What is this obnoxious? What is this obnoxious? Yogesh Kumar, NatGrid. Sir, how can online student can send their answers? We can take it. See, officially we don't have any program for checking the answers. You know, I'm speaking for this. Sareen Lodi. Shahista Sareen Lodi. You can send 1-2 answers in Telegram or somewhere, then we can have a look. Otherwise, you will have to join the test series. Then we will have a weekly test. Some you guys are doing, right? So if your test series weekly, we will do a test series on security after discussion. We'll do a test series on Sunday. That will be having 10 questions, I guess. That will have formal checking and all these things. Otherwise, we don't have any formal facility. Still, if you want, you can send 1-2 answer. Try to reach out to some of. Okay, yeah, move ahead. So how will you do this? Obnoxious means what you got? Yeah, irritating, bad. Yeah, you have something to add? nexus between organized crime. Something irritating, all this will come into picture. What is thing is this part should be correct. Organized crime and terrorism. This linkage you should study very well. Whatever nexus of terrorism is asking, this nexus is asking. They're not asking some other nexus. Okay, don't fall for this word even if you don't know the meaning. Nexus in terrorism question is mostly nexus with the organized crime. And what is this all about? What is the nexus between organized crime and terrorism? Funding is the, what is this black hole syndrome?
Times organized crime become
Terror group become organized crime groups. Thing is, these two are very much synonymous. Organized crime and terrorism. What black hole syndrome says, when this is happening, it will pull in. Black hole means it will pull everything into it. When terrorism happening, it will come into it. Somewhere these two will merge at some level. That is black hole syndrome. This you can use as keyword only. After that, the main nexus is coming from funding. How terrorist funding is happening? Some criminal activity will go on. Give me an example. Suppose kidnapping. Yeah, arms trafficking. So take drug trafficking. Yes. Opium. Taliban. What Taliban did? Opium they cultivated. They sold in countries like India, Punjab, all these issues, wherever issues is there. And this is a criminal activity. They will get money. What they will do? Money laundering. Money laundering means what? Illicit money, they are making it into a legal form. Technically it is not getting legal, but in paper it is getting legal. So money laundering will happen and it will get a legal channel, it will supply back into where it started. Then it can be used for any funding. Okay. Yeah. So this nexus you have to show through different means. By black hole syndrome, you give some examples. By funding, you give some examples. 2-3 dimensions you cover it up. That will suffice the part. Move ahead. What is else? Measures required to eradicate terrorism. This is quite easy. What is this? Yeah, take pick. This is very synonymous. What is anti-terrorism? Tell me. One is response. This is more like response. This is more like you are taking a holistic view out of it. Causes of terrorism is being addressed here. Trying to address what we are trying to address, causes of terrorism. Here, damages of terrorism, we are trying to limit it. Okay. Should I off the AC? AC, what to do? Are you all comfortable? Okay. So how will you generate points for these measures, government measures?
Immediate, short term, long term.
All these game, whatever game you can play, you can play. Give me some examples. Politically, what will you do? There is written here. Legal measures, UAPA conviction, we already discussed. Institutional measures. What is this? Institutional measures. Politicization of what? IB politicization, where you hear? Very rarely you hear. NIA you hear. ED you hear. ED politicization is always in news. What is ED? Enforcement Directorate. NIA politicization, CBI politicization. These all are somehow connected to organized crime. Financial, FATF, blacklist, grey list. Where is Pakistan now? Grey, black. They're out of grey list, right? Capacity building means modernization of armed forces. Which committee you cite here? Shekatkar committee. Integrated theatre command, all those will come into it. We'll deal with it. Where will it come? Border security, border measures. Intelligence analysis. Give me an example. RO, IB, all this. What police and public engagement means what? Community based approach. Dialogue, all this. Some Indian Army is conducting some exam preparation in Kashmir. What was the name of the scheme? Himayat, something like that. Can cite that. De-radicalization measures. Technological measures, what will you do? Technological measures, how to tackle terrorism, technological measures. See, ISIS, how recruitment of ISIS is going on? Through social media. Video games, that lone wolf attack was related to video games. So some kind of regulation is needed in online media. However, we support free media, we say that media should be free. Some kind of regulation is needed. We cannot let this terrorist organization have a free hand over it. Border security will discuss international. Can cite some examples. Okay, we move ahead. You are getting the basic picture, right? It's not conclusion. This also you can do. In terrorism question, at least you must do this. It's a very famous dialogue also. What it is? Terrorism is an attack on humanity, freedom and civilization. It knows, it knows no boundaries, only a unified, uniform and zero tolerance approach can defeat terrorism. So something like that you can connect with. At least in terrorism answer, if a question directly is coming, you can use this. Don't overuse it like IR. IR, it's more relevant. Security, it's not that much relevant. Still, because terrorism is a global issue, terrorism is something India is always doing. What is India's tactics in global forum with regard to Pakistan on terrorism? Corner Pakistan, isolation of Pakistan. Isolation of Pakistan. So this, due to this, there are so many dialogues between Prime Minister, all this coming into picture. This you can write in way forward also. Okay, move ahead. This is third question, right? What is the difference in this? Tell me parts. Scourge of terrorism is a grave challenge to national security. What solution do you suggest to curb this growing menace? What are major sources of terrorist funding? Kidnapping, correct? So please read online comment also. Sure, I'll try to keep track. Netra cyber surveillance, very good, very good. Move ahead. Give me parts of this question. See, what is difference in this question? That is not that much easy as last question. We have a statement here. Scourge of terrorism is a grave challenge to national security. You are not told to analyze the statement. You are not told to comment on the statement. You are not told to explain the statement. Nothing is told. There is a different question here. What solution do you suggest to curb the growing menace? What are major sources of? Two different questions are asked and one statement is given. So how will you address this? This is for 15 marks. What you will do? Give me what all parts it contains. You need more dimensions. Now tell me first part what it is. That you can we'll discuss. Tell me what is the first part you will write. There is a statement. Don't completely overlook the statement. Don't just jump into the question is asked. Yes. Challenges terrorism as a challenge to national security. That will be your first part. And you have 3 pages. How will you divide in this question? If you are writing these challenges of terrorism to national security, even if you have 10 points, don't write too much. You have written here introduction, just give some space to it and finish it within, don't take even 1 page full. Why? Because it is not exactly asked. Keep very keen eye on these factors. If there is a term explained, then you can have more liberty. You can take more space to it. This kind of question, only what you have to do is do some justice to the statement. Don't leave it all together. Even you can apply a diagram format. Draw a simple diagram, whatever it is. Just address the statement what is given. Then go to whatever it is asked and allocate the space accordingly. Clear? Kaun banaya hai mistake? Who made this mistake, like overwriting this part? Nobody. When I check answer, I find so many very basic things. Your answer also. When in talk, content hai, sab pata hai, sab examples you are saying. Then when I check your answer, you are making very fundamental mistakes. Tell me who else? Got the idea, right? Clear? Fixed in mind? किधर भी आंसर लिख रहा है, these kind of mistakes should not happen. Whichever topic, whichever subject, original mains or test series, whatever it is. What happened? Okay. What next? What next part you will write? Now we will go to the question. We don't have this. Solutions we will discuss. After that, very direct question. What are sources of terrorist funding? Very disordered manner it is asked. You have to first write all the solution, then you have to come back and write the sources of funding. Don't do. It's asked in that way, answer in that way. Nobody will come and kick you if you do opposite. But general standard is whatever is asked, follow the format. Don't use too much of brain into what should be exact structure of this answer. Don't do it. They are asking like this, then you answer like this. What do you do? What will do if such question is asked? Sometimes more difficult. We're just giving some examples. India is facing all these issues. Some terrorism issue due to these factors. Is another way of introducing answer. If you don't exactly have got any definition, if you don't remember any data, you can simply contextualize. These are terrorism threats India is facing and give an introduction. I put it because just to show you different types of introduction. So, how is terrorism as a grave challenge to national security? What you will do in this part? Same, this question is very synonymous with last question we discussed. What we can do is impact of 2611 Mumbai attacks. Think from that perspective. Whatever impacts afterwards come, political impact, economic impact, trade between India and Pakistan, what is the status? How much it is? 500 million around. What is potential? 30 something, 38 billion, something is like that is the potential trade between India and Pakistan. But we are only having 500 million trade. So think from all dimensions. Impact of terrorism. Another way of approach is study or have this mental framework, different dimensions of national security. What are different dimensions of national security? Physical safety, all comes. Consensus, values, energy security, environment security, economic security, socio-political security, territorial integrity, all this from different aspects. You make one or two how the terrorism is challenging each aspect of it. Cyber security you can include. Okay, open up national security, what does it mean in different sectors, then connect it with terrorism. Getting? Move ahead. This is, we already discussed, suggestion, the same question is repeating. In IR you will get so many areas where same theme is getting repeated. That's why this workbook and only few topics, few dimensions you have to very highly prepare. Sources of terrorist funding. Here also you can think from different organizations. How ISIS is getting fund? Oil trade, donations. Where donations are coming from? Gulf. Majorly from Gulf countries, supporting countries. Hostages. Extortion, crime, all these crime networks they are running. If Taliban, you think from Taliban perspective, we discussed about opium. Taliban major LET, illicit state funding, ISI. Other groups, Maoists, where they are getting? Cross-border funding they are getting. Urban funding they are getting. Urban infiltration or something like that. Urban intellectuals, whatever it is. Thing is, you can think about 4-5 terrorist organization, but don't write this as your heading. Your heading is this only. To generate the points, think from different organization perspective. Okay, clear? Yeah. It's very vague. State means what is other point in it? Almost all point will come under non-state, right? Shell companies, everything is non-state. State means only state, one ISI part will come. Or if some state is engaged, if Taliban is a state now, so that will come just one point. You cannot have classification, there is not that much scope. Okay. So we are not discussing this. Want to take break? So we'll come to last question. So this is a different question, last one. What was it? So why this question was asked? Thing is, we told so many times, this question was asked because that year that was a very hot topic. We are not remembering data regarding this, not getting points regarding this, not remembering the facts regarding this, there is no issues. Because this is asked that year because that is something very important for that year. Clear? What are the parts you will do? We have a long statement. Banning of this organization brought into focus. Role of overground workers in assisting terrorist organizations. Examine the role played by these guys. So you will write role played by overground workers. After that, measures. See, every question, very simple things are asked. What is the impact of terrorism? What is the causes of terrorism? What is very simple. Role of overground workers. How will you generate points? What is overground workers? Have some clarity on it, rest will come. What is overground workers? Directly they are not part of any terrorist organization. They may be common people, they may be very normal people, but some exercises they are contributing some way to the cause of the organization. Yeah. So how they will help? This is regarding that specific case. The ministry was banned under UAP Act, the organization. Don't give too much into that organization, that is not our key point. So how you can generate points regarding is how these guys, overground workers, how they assist organization before carrying out any attack, how they assist when an attack is being conducted, how they attack when after an attack. Okay, way of thinking you are getting. These 3 dimensions come into your mind. 2-3 points in this you will definitely get. It's not very difficult. If you don't have this some kind of structure to the thinking, then it will be some difficult to think more points. You will like same point, you will change little bit and write again. All these things come into picture. So tell me how before attack these guys are very important. You want to take pick, take. So tell me before terrorist attack how it is important. Radicalization, building the base, recruitment, where it is coming from, men, where it is coming from. What is this? Systematic entrapment. Exactly. From 7 years, people are being brainwashed, people are being taught different terrorist ideologies. Some kind of like us versus we versus they, that kind of mentality is creating. Some kind of we are always at vulnerable, we are the vulnerable section, we are losing out something. All these complexes are being created from less than 8 children itself, very young ages. Brainwash you can use, no issues. It's normal. Systematic entrapment is one kind of a keyword like. So basically idea is very small ages, the ideology is being pumped into the children. Logistical support, how they give? Vehicles, everything related to logistics. Politicization of demands, what is it? Like pressure groups, they act as some kind of pressure group, will be supporting it. Give me during contact, intelligence gathering, what it is? Information, very exact location of where the truck is, where the XYZ infrastructure is. All these come from public. It's very difficult to infiltrate otherwise without the support of the public. Smuggling of weapons, explosives. After attack, how it helps? Tell me. Spreading ideologies. Like Burhan Wani, what happened? Remember the case? The guy was militant and he was killed by army. After that, kitna log? 2 lakh people attended his funeral or something. Then like big number is there, like everyone's Facebook DP or WhatsApp DP was his. Technically he was a militant. So all these activities are being these are done by whom? Something like 2 lakh, 3 lakh people are doing. They are not, you cannot call 3 lakh people terrorists. They are overground workers. They may have some inclination to the ideologies, but that doesn't mean they are not active members of any XYZ group. Providing shelter after crime, protection against arrest, similar. False allegations against security forces, what does it include? Human rights violation, all these cases. Civilian shield against counter-terrorism, what does it include? That throwing of stones, stone pelting, all these come into it. Okay, get the mental picture. If you are not getting the facts, don't worry too much about it. Tomorrow maybe question, this will be changed. Some other question also, if you can have this mental ability to divide the answer into before attack, during the attack, post attack. That is the takeaway of all this. Factual part, it is 3 years before current affairs, not that much relevant to us. Clear? What is this? Solution, measures. This is very similar to what we have discussed for terrorism question. Very similar. Two different approach you can see. One is, yeah, soft approach. Developmental gap, de-radicalization program, school education, employment opportunities, do all these aspects. Second one, hard approach. If somebody is not turning into violence, then you have to use army, you have to use force to stop that. There is no compromise to it, and इसमें all other aspect will come. Intelligence improve करना है, fencing करना है, insurgency, whatever it is. Sometimes we have to go attack even though civilians are there. Civilians may be get injured, but still certain XYZ is substantiated. Okay. Yeah. How will you link? Thing is, these are all very closely related. Only what matters is if you can cite some kind of linkages correctly. If totally unrelated thing you have written, then it will counterfire. Given CCIT heading in this way forward, there is no issues with it. It's very related to terrorism, but connect with overground workers. It should have some policy framework to address these people also, something like that. Yes, yes. Anything else? Anything else? Nothing much. It's similar to what we have discussed. So, what is our plan of action? Tonight I will upload the tomorrow's topic. You know what is topics? Left-wing extremism and Northeast insurgency. Workbook I will upload by tonight in the Telegram group. Go through it, add your examples, add your value addition study. If you don't have your own note, make it as your base note and add into it. Okay. So, thank you so much.